How's it, Mundo here? How's it? I made an informal video today because we're here at Mike Ponce's Ponce Guitars.
Hey guys.
Mike Ponce's, and my son turned 16. Great
Happy birthday.
Can't buy him anything, he doesn't want anything, but he does play guitar and it's time to get him a real man's guitar, so.
And he wanted your guitar.
And he
the
wanted,
Ponce.
I'm not going to give him my Ponce. So we came here today. Ponce ran us through
my rendition of the perfect playing Strat.
Yeah.
So
it was awesome. The lighting might not be so great, my filming not be so great. We're just using the microphones from the cameras, but it was fantastic. And
everything I have has a white undercoat. Yeah. And back in the day, they all had white undercoat. It was like a colored undercoat that when you burn through the blue, you'll start seeing white before you see wood.
Oh, right.
So
I think yours has it.
Yours has that.
Really?
I think yours has.
I do. You're right. I saw it. Yeah.
Undercoat, which is correct. Right. Period correct for the 70s, 60s, 50s. Cool. So just so you know, they all get that.
Does a white have
the white has it as well.
A white under
but
white.
You're not going to see much except a layer in between a layer of clear, and you'd have to be really good to see that.
How many layers of clear do you put on?
Total layers on all these, 4 to 5,
yeah.
Which is nothing, including color. So if I were to take my nail and go like that, you're going to see wood.
That's total layers.
That's it.
But I was wondering, after the fact, don't you put some clear over it or no?
No, that's total. With the clear.
With the clear.
Yes. I have to be extremely careful when I sand above these things.
Yeah.
No, we're talking lacquer, which is like water. Polyester, urethane, stuff like that. Guys put on 10, 12 coats, but they're 10 to 20 thousandths each, which are, I mean, if you look at the human hair is 4 thousandths. So you got 40 to 60 thousandths on most other companies' guitars. This has just over hair's thickness of finish on it. Wow. That's why you're seeing the grain and stuff shrink through. I want it to.
And it sounds better. I still think it sounds better.
It's part of it.
Some gorgeous guitars that I've played, they're just it's like so thick and it's not open. It's not an open sound.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. With this, the air is still messing with the finish and messing with the wood. It can still do stuff to it, but it's protected as much as it can. But I think the tone is there because of it. And if the wood is dry in the beginning, which it is, this stuff is under 7% moisture, neck and body, then it's going to be sealed forever. So I think this is the best thing that you can possibly do. So they're all within 4 ounces of each other.
And I'm late on the filming, so most of them are 7
pounds, 4 ounces to 7 pounds, 7 ounces. So I'm only seeing a 3 to 4 ounce variance in weight.
Right. It's not moving around that much.
No, because I think of my strict, guidelines. But even if you get a single coil or a humbucker, it's still within that parameter.
Right.
So it's. I think we're all good there, and I think the tone's all the same there. And what I'd like to do though is
if you get a single, we were talking about this. Sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
You still route for a
humbucker? All the bridges are universal.
So you have the option.
Yes.
And that's where we're going with my guitar.
Yes.
So
that's why.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So if you want a humbucker,
I do.
You can always swap out to a 3 single coil pickguard if you wanted to later. I thought about doing that option and just throwing pickguards on the website and just having them sit there.
Yeah.
And if guys wanted to just buy the pickguards, they can grab them and buy them separately. But the problem is it's a high dollar thing, so it's not gonna help me any.
Right.
So by putting them there, they have to ask for it. So my guess for you would be, I'd go with something lighter.
Yeah.
Like the lightest that we have, with maybe something straight grain and something real dark. So they're all Indian rosewood. They're all maple, fingerboard, or wood. So this is all Indian. You can see the difference in colors though. And I think the darker is probably the more desired.
For tone or for looks?
Looks. So if you look
That's pretty cool.
This is almost purple.
It's almost purple, which Indian will go purple, brown.
Does it really?
It looks like the whole gamut. It can go from...
I've never seen a neck like that. That's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. The darker you go, the closer towards Brazilian it gets. And when you put some oil on there, it's really gonna darken up.
It gets darker than it already even is.
Oh, totally. And when it starts to lighten up, that's when you want to add more lemon oil.
You try on that one?
Yep.
The oil?
difference in all of these. See,
Right,
look how pretty
that
that
one
is.
changed so much.
Look how red these get. It's real pretty. This almost looks like Pal Ferro. This is a beautiful piece of rosewood there.
This is
Real super straight.
this is the one that caught my eye when we first.
That's
you were saying, look
gorgeous.
at the straight grain.
So straight. It's quarter sawn. Beautiful maple on the back.
What does quarter sawn mean for us? I know, but I wouldn't mind your.
If you take a tree and it's got all the rings, okay?
Right.
And if you were to take that tree and just cut it in half and cut a piece right here, that's what this is. It's called flat sawn, where the grain is almost flat all the way across, okay?
Yeah.
So it's going like this, and the bigger the tree, the more flat sawn you get. So the grain goes like this, and you cut it right there, all the way across. The grain just kind of goes like this and kind of droops a little
I
bit.
see what you mean.
That's what this is. Okay, that grain, and you can see here by how it just kind of falls out right here.
Yeah.
Now quarter sawn
And you
is when you take those rings and you cut them into rings like this, and then you go like that, and so all those rings go like this. So quarter sawn is when all those grain lines go like this and they line up. The more true they are to up and down, then the more quarter sawn they are. If they go like this, it's a rift sawn. So this is rift sawn, this is flat sawn. If you look at the grain lines, flat, rift,
rip quarter.
quarter.
And we can see that on this
You
because
can see that on this, and you can tell by looking at it flat, like this. When it runs out, see there's grain right there, and it runs out, there's nothing here. That means that this piece is pretty true flat.
okay.
Now if you saw a bunch of lines,
Right.
like
this one?
piece of rosewood, it doesn't matter the type of species, it all depends on how it's cut, because all trees are round, right?
Right.
So this is quarter sawn, because you can see all those lines like this, and it goes straight up and down.
Any difference for tone or stability or?
Stability, yes. Tone is arguable.
Yeah.
Stability, I like the flat sawn on the maple because it moves more.
Okay.
So on a truss rod, you adjust the truss rod quarter turn, it's going to move drastically. Back it off, it moves drastically. Quarter sawn, it's stiff, and you're pushing against the rod. And you're pushing against the rod to go back either way. So you're fighting it. So I like to counter it with a nice piece of quarter sawn rosewood. So put a nice piece of flat quarter sawn rosewood on, which is stiffer, and counteract it with a really piece of soft maple. And now you have the perfect.
That's fascinating.
You have the perfect, blend. And so same with the bodies with tone.
Right.
You have a nice resonant piece of wood. You want to dull it up with something bright and dense. Opposites attract. So one of my favorite pieces of wood or combinations is solid maple body with a cocobolo neck.
Okay.
Most people go, oh my God, it's going to be so bright you can't even hear it.
That's
amazing.
what I was just thinking.
It sounds amazing. I don't know why, but it's just it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Alder, maple, and rosewood, perfect blend. Ash and all maple, perfect blend for Tilly. The brightness, but it's opposites. Ash is a really loose piece of grain and really resonant, where the neck is really tight and sharp.
Right.
So you put the tight, sharp maple board on there, and it works as opposites.
Okay.
And
So
they work
for
great together.
the geek in me, koa, what? Because it's too bright or thin sometimes. What's the opposite there for the neck?
Maple,
Maple.
Koa's
Maple neck,
loose
maple
and
fingerboard?
spongy. Maple fingerboard, yeah, all the way across maple, or cocobolo, which is very dark. Pal Ferro,
Okay.
super bright and dense. So Pal Ferro Koa. Look at Red Beach, the Red Beach model.
Right.
Huge for resonance.
Yeah, that guitar did sound good way back when.
It always does. It always does. You
Right.
put a Floyd on there with nines.
Yeah.
The thing's singing for you.
It had a weird cutout. There was something I didn't like about it for me back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
We're
it
talking
could
about
be.
the original version. I don't
Oh,
know if
yeah.
there's another signature.
No,
Yeah, okay.
No, that was it. It all kind of meshed together.
I would say for my experience, that's the only Coil guitar that's ever just sounded great to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, just
with the Pal Ferro neck.
the Reb model.
Yeah. So, well, first, I would say this guy right here is gorgeous.
Pick it up. Can he can
think
pick it up,
that's-
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just furniture oil.
Wait, do you hear that?
Not gonna hurt you.
Do you hear that, Mundo?
Oh.
The sustain.
Oh yeah.
Well, you would if it was plugged in.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I really like this one.
Yeah, me too.
And one of these two.
Yeah, I was thinking about one of those earlier.
I would say this guy.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't like this thing right here. It's got a little
Oh,
freckle in there.
is that in the wood?
That's in the wood,
I
yeah.
thought that was just a speck on it.
That's
So
got a
yeah,
little
this
knot
one.
in it. And there's no paint there except for tint.
Put it side by side. That's the one that was from here, right?
So that black thing would be right.
I love these headstocks too. The shape.
Oh, thanks, man. And this is my stock shape. It's hard to tell without strings on it, but you played your dad's, which
Yeah.
is my stock shape.
Which I
This is-
love.
Which is a 60s C.
Yeah, it's a 60s medium. So it's got more shoulder. It's a true C. It's not like it's not elliptical. Well, no, it is more elliptical. So it's got a lot of shoulder. This is gonna feel sharp because it's not dressed out.
Yeah.
But it's gonna feel more round. And then when the strings are on there, you know, it makes
Yeah.
everything feel even a little bit bigger.
I think that's why playing those open position chords, it's super comfortable.
It should,
For me.
It should, yeah.
What's the radius?
It's 10 to 14. It's a compound.
It is compound?
Yeah, so
Oh.
10 here, 14 here.
Do you know what
So-
that means, Mundo? The compound?
What, the radius?
The radius. So the radius is the fingerboard radius that goes on there. And the older the guitar, the more round it was.
Yeah.
And as time went on, people learned that the flatter it was, the less it would choke. You know what choking is? When
No,
you
I
bend a
don't.
string, it goes, "Huh?"
Oh, I know what it is.
Okay, that's a choke. So the flatter you go, the less choke you get.
Right.
The rounder you go, the more comfortable it is because your hand just naturally grooves
It
to
doesn't
it.
crack over, right?
It will choke if you overbend down here.
Right.
But who
You're not
does?
going to really overbend on a 10 and back down here.
Right.
Nothing. You're not going to make this thing choke here. So I made this thing to where it's not going to choke anywhere on the neck.
Cool.
And that's only because it goes from 10 to 14, all in one swoop. So right here it's a 10, right here it's a 14, and if you look at it in geometry, it just graduates from here to here constantly. It never stops. So it goes from really round to really flat.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna know it. And that's how I can get the lowest action possible.
And I think for us shredders, the flatter, the faster.
Exactly. but any too flat, then I can't have the 10.
Right.
Then I'm gonna have to raise the action because then it's gonna get weird around here.
But too flat, no matter how fast you play, it's not comfortable for me.
Right.
Right,
Because then
so-
you have to play with your thumb totally on the back.
Right.
You know.
This is
All
kind
right.
of like red, right? It kind of looks
Yeah.
to me like a reddish.
Here, let's throw a light on that and see.
I might be wrong, but that's just what it looks like.
Yeah, it's purple.
Purple, right?
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah.
And that one's
This is the one with the lines.
yeah, that one's really nice grain. I recommend that and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two.
How's
Where'd
the
that
back?
one with the black
Yeah.
spot go?
We
That's
moved it
the
here.
Okay.
How's the back on this?
Beautiful. Yeah, they're super flat. This one looks a little more even. See how this one
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
offsets a little bit? Where this one is like right down the center.
Right.
So you might get a little more stability out of that, but it doesn't really matter at this point.
Right.
I would say whichever one you like weight-wise and look-wise out of these two, I would say,
This one feels heavier to me.
and what do you want?
I
Do
kind
you
of
want
like
the
this
neck to
one.
be a little bit heavier? You want it to be a little bit lighter?
A little lighter, I think.
Okay.
So
Then
this
that's
one.
it.
Yeah.
That's it right there. Okay.
He's picked his neck, and the angels sang, Hallelujah.
All right, and what we'll do, once you pick a body, I'll stamp them both.
Cool.
And then I'll have them in paint by
Yeah, it's pretty even on the back.
about a week from now.
Great.
Yeah, that's pretty. These are all my new ones. So they're all center seam. So I would go with something that came off the same piece of wood, which most of these look like it.
Yeah.
Not that one. This one, yes.
You can just
This
tell.
one, yes. You can tell by, it's called a slip joint. So the wood is 7 inches wide and it goes like this. It's a big plank.
Right.
So when they cut the plank, they cut it and they go like this. So it's called a slip joint. And so when you look right here, it looks like a mirror image.
Right,
This is basically a book match at this point.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
It's called a slit
On
match.
each
You
side.
take the wood and you go like this, and then you glue that together. So that's what we're looking for. Sometimes they'll take two separate pieces of wood and make it look good because they cut something else out that was a big giant knot, and then they put that one up with this one, but it's not the closest relation. So we want to see what the closest.
And that's what you're looking for, the closest
We
relation?
want to see the closest relation. See how that wide grain
Right.
doesn't match this narrow grain?
Right.
That's two different pieces of wood, or there was something in the middle that had to get cut out.
Yeah, like a knot?
A
Or-
knot or something.
'Kay.
The board went like this, and they couldn't make 7 inches wide. If you
That's
look at
more
this,
even.
it's exactly even. Don't look at this or that, but look at the grain pattern. It all matches, yeah. So that's good, and there's a lot of that going on. That one's arguable.
And just to play devil's advocate, what's the difference if it's going to be a solid color anyway? The
Peace of
relation,
mind.
a peace of mind?
Peace of mind
Tense-
and resonance travel.
because
you
it
know-
was the same relation, the wood has a relationship to each other since it was...
Wood is a bunch of pores or tubes.
Right.
Okay. If all those tubes don't match up, then how is the resonance going to travel evenly?
There you go.
So if the tubes are either small or big, at least they're the same size on both parts. So when you resonate something and you hit it like that, you feel those.
Right.
Now, if they're two different pieces of wood and you got pores that are almost shut and pores that are really huge, it's going to resonate different and it might cancel out somewhere. I don't know. My
No.
guess is you want it to be even.
Right.
Either all big or all small, but just even.
Yeah.
And so the closer to the match you have like that, that's what you want.
Yeah.
My guess. You know, I'm not a scientist.
Well, I mean,
But
it's not
it's-
like I'm gonna say no.
It's
you're
just a
wrong.
guess. Yeah, it's just a guess.
That's great.
So if you were to take something like this and just kind of hit that with 2 fingers.
Do you do this yourself when you get the woods
Oh
from?
yeah, yeah, and I try to match them up the best I can.
Oh yeah, it is
Here,
different.
that's more flat.
Yeah.
The other one's more sharp. Hear that?
That's cool.
This is more like this one.
Yep.
A little bit brighter than that, but closer to these two. So now I'd say this first one, with the looks and everything,
Yeah, I like that.
it's flawless. Now, you're gonna look at this thing and go, I want that one. We're gonna paint it a solid color, and you're always gonna know that underneath it was like the most beautiful piece of alder you've
Right.
ever seen in your life. And we painted it a solid color because that's the one you wanted, a solid
Right.
color. Now I could make this a total 2-tone, beautiful piece. Listen to that. It just sounds good.
It's a little
Sucker's
dead.
heavier. But it's got a brighter, but it's more dead.
It's more dead.
It's just dead
Or not as open sounding.
compared to this guy. That just sounds sweet. Let me see what else.
Have you ever done this test and there was nothing wrong with it, but it just didn't resonate the way you liked and you throw it out?
course.
Really?
Yeah, I have. Or you build this most beautiful piece, you tap test everything, you match up a sharp and a dead, and then it comes out and you play it and you got a dead spot on the 13th fret and you don't know why. Just playing it acoustically and you're going,
That's happened to me before. Yeah.
I think it's the joint. I think it's where the neck meets the body and the type of guitar it is.
There was just one, it was a sweet guitar and there was just one dead area of the neck when I wasn't plugged in,
Yeah.
you know.
Was it a fingerboard?
What do you mean?
Did it have a fingerboard glued on it?
I would think so. I think so. I can't remember. I don't have the guitar
There's a couple
anymore.
theories there. There could be a gap under the fingerboard, or there's no
Yeah,
glue.
there's no glue.
Or it's that frequency that you're hitting that the guitar resonates at,
And then it cancels it.
and it cancels.
Cancel it. Oh.
So it's hitting a sharp, and you're hitting that right sharp right there. And once you hit that note, it goes zzz, it stops. It hits each other and just stops. My guess, Mundo, is that this is it.
That's all I was gonna say. Yeah.
My guess is this guy's it. And I'm just looking at everything else.
3
and
pounds.
I keep going back to this guy.
Can I grab?
Is that
Yeah.
2 ounces?
12. 13, 12.
3 pounds.
Great.
13. This is 13.
313. 41. 41.
I'm just being geeky because
314. 312. Here's another
312.
312.
Alder, right?
Yeah. Alder. ALDER.
Right.
Red alder. It's from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that. Don't give it to me.
We'll put it together when we get
So-
home.
Yeah. It's up to you now. So I'll cut that relief in the heel. I'll do this
Yeah.
hand shaping. I'll take pictures for you
Okay.
as it goes through,
Cool.
and then I'll copy you guys on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one for sure.
I'm thinking that's it.
Oh, why do you put
I'm thinking
He
this
was
guy
just
with this guy.
telling
Let's
us.
get it totally.
so hard to...
Oh goodness.
Get a picture of it all.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Okay. Get a picture of this here. So 414. Single coils are all the same.
Right.
They're a little bit hotter version of what I've been doing, but it's what people like now. So it's a hotter 50s vintage. So you get that in the neck in the middle.
Right.
The bridge, now you have 2 choices. You can do it covered or uncovered.
Covered.
Okay, covered isn't just a look. Okay, there's a tonal property there.
Right.
It gives you more of a hollow, kind of jazzy, open tone.
Yeah.
A little bit bassier than a non-covered pickup. A non-covered pickup, they both have their different looks, but a non-covered pickup is more of the open crunch. You can still get the open crunch with the covered humbucker, but you're just gonna have to experiment with it. Now, what everyone likes right now is the covered humbucker.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you're gonna
I
go
kind of
wrong.
like that open crunch though. For like.
And the non-cover, yeah, the non-cover, you instantly get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of like.
Now
Which is
sometimes
this guy.
sometimes with Strats, I find the humbucker just too bright anyway.
It is brighter.
Yeah.
It is brighter. You can always roll your tone,
That's
but
cool,
you get a
though.
crunch at it. Yeah,
The
get the
name.
Ponce on there
Right.
too.
Ah, that one. That's cool too.
Yeah, I kind
know.
of like that open crunch.
So you're thinking non-covered.
Not covered.
Here's
And
the back.
you can always cover it after the fact, right? Or no?
Take a photo.
You can, although I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't mess with it. I want to see that too.
Yeah, dude.
And then this way my painter knows exactly what body goes with what neck.
How hard do you have to hit it for it to go in?
Pretty hard. Alder is it's pretty dense. Not as hard as maple. On maple I have to stamp it with the drill press.
Oh,
I have
really?
to put it in there and squash it.
Oh, I get it. OLY.
Ole white, yeah.
This is the end game right now. We have picked out, or he has picked out,
Right.
a neck and body.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it comes out.
Yeah. And color?
Olympic white,
Olympic white. Single, uncovered hum,
correct?
matched alderwood, maple neck,
Indian rosewood,
Indian
maple.
rosewood. We're excited.
Sweet.
All right.
Number 16.
Number 16
All right.
for
Number 16.
I don't get how you open these cases.
It never opens.
Hold on. Oh no, I got it.
There's a latch on underneath.
There's a learning curve.
Big. You got to figure it out.
okay.
There you go.
There's a-
Now you can have the guitar.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Never been touched by human hands.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's gorgeous.
That's amazing.
And I can add stuff or
No, you did a great job already.
whatever you want to do.
You can put stickers all over it.
Green Day stickers.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great.
Already stamped Margot in the back.
Let's see, Margot. I see it. I'm just trying to get the camera.
Yeah, it's hard to get a shot of it.
Tell me to turn.
No, I had it, but it says Margot. Trust us. We'll get it later.
Wow,
gorgeous.
thank you. This is great.
First chord, first note. What's it gonna be?
I don't know. I'm just looking right now.
Man, that's sexy.
Feels good, huh? The weight balance is really
Yeah.
nice.
What was it again? 7?
7.4?
7/4.
7.4, 7.45.
That's great.
Let's hear it.
So it's under 7.5 pounds. You have a pick?
Yeah, I'm using one.
You got one?
It feels great.
You like the neck?
It feels better than yours. Yeah.
Don't
Shut-
say that. Don't say that.